Hello again, everyone. Welcome to Washington Gun Law TV. I'm Washington Gun Law President William Kirk. Thanks for joining us, coming to you from Washington's premier indoor shooting facility. Of course, that's Security Gun Club right here in Woodinville, Washington. Hey, Washington, this will be a video for you, the hometown crowd. As we know, our governor was really busy last week, signing not one, not two, but 4 separate pieces of civilian disarmament legislation. It has many of you wondering what exactly does it do, and more importantly, when do these laws go into effect? We're going to slow down. We're going to take each one of those bills, break it down to you today so that you can understand exactly what's happening and when is it coming. So today, let's spend a few minutes, let's slow it all down, let's geek out for a bit, and let's talk about Washington's new gun laws. What do they do? When do they start? Okay, like I said, we got 4 gun bills, Washington, that we need to talk about because they have all been signed by Governor Inslee, shocker, and you need to know when their effective dates are. Let's talk with some of the more innocuous ones, and we'll work our way up to the Death Star piece of legislation. Let's first start with House Bill 1903. Now, that is a new law that says that if you lose or have a firearm stolen, you must report that to local law enforcement within 24 hours. A failure to do so could or will result in a civil infraction of up to $1,000. The effective date of this legislation is June 6th of this year. That law goes into effect June 6th, 2024. Now, I want you to understand that the sponsors of this bill, such as Representative Liz Berry, apparently didn't take a look at some of the more other recent amendments to RCW 9.41. There will be a new section that will be added to RCW 9.41, which will now place this affirmative duty upon lawful and responsible gun owners. So, put another way, you will be penalized for having been criminalized if you don't report it. That's exactly what this law is doing. Now, the interesting thing is that whatever we want to call this new section of the RCW will actually be in conflict with RCW 9.41.360, which is Washington's safe storage provision. I went back, I figured, oh, well, this 1903 had to actually amend 941.360, right? No, it did not. And so we have inconsistent statutes now. One requires you to report it within 1 day. The other one, which was passed through Initiative 1639 and has been in existence much longer, 941.360 requires that report be made within 5 days. Once again, the effective date of that piece of legislation, June 6th of this year. Okay, then there is House Bill 2021. Now, House Bill 2021 just is a bunch more provisions about gun buybacks. I really don't want to waste a lot of time on that. That effective date will also be June 6th of this year. So June 6th, 2024, House Bill 2021, which has additional provisions in there about police-operated gun buyback programs, will go into effect. Then, and this is one a lot of you have some questions about, Senate Bill 5444. Senate Bill 5444 amends RCW 9.41.300, which lists many of our gun-free zones. It adds new gun-free zones, and I want to tell you what these are, but I'm going to tell all of you right now, because this is the punchline here, is that if you are a CPL holder, and I'll show you exactly where it is in the statute, these new sensitive places will not apply to you if you're carrying concealed. However, the areas that now become gun-free zones in Washington State, and I was unaware that we had crime problems in these locations, are libraries, unless, of course, the firearm is equipped with a silencer. Just seeing if you're paying attention. No, libraries, zoos, aquariums, and public transportation. And that last one is the one, obviously, especially for those of you who reside in the Puget Sound region, you know that the last place on God's green earth you should ever go disarmed would be on any form of public transportation. However, and I want to be very clear, there is a provision that was added. It was an amendment that was added actually in the House when the bill got over to the House that did exempt concealed pistol license holders. So that portion of the statute specifically reads, subsection 1F, G, and H of this section does not apply to a person licensed to carry a concealed firearm pursuant to RCW 9.41.070. and subsections F, G, and H are the areas that we were talking about. So that law also goes into effect June 6th of 2024. So if you want to carry a firearm into a library, into a zoo, into an aquarium, or on public transportation, the only way that you can lawfully do that will be lawfully pursuant to a concealed pistol license issued pursuant to RCW 9.41.070. Okay, and then the final piece of legislation, the coup de grace, the Death Star, if you would, of legislation this year, of course, was House Bill 2118, a bill that is completely and absolutely designed to wipe out the FFL industry in the state of Washington. Now, that bill did get watered down significantly, and we've done a bunch of videos on that. You can go ahead and geek out on those if you really want to get up to speed. This is very important, though, especially for your local FFLs. The enactment date of House Bill 2118 is July 1st, 2025. So we have approximately 17 months, a little less than 17 months before that enactment date. And yes, Washington Gun Law will be working with all of you privately to make sure that you can be in compliance with the law. We will have some private meetings about that. We will discuss that later, but we have already been looking into what will it take for an FFL to remain compliant with this law should it not be struck down. So once again, the enactment date for House Bill 2118 is July 1st, 2025. So that's a complete rundown of all the new gun legislation in Washington State, what it does, and when it does it to you. If you guys got any more questions about this or anything else related to what's left of our Second Amendment rights, you should know how to get a hold of Washington Gun Law by now. If you don't, that's okay. That information's down there in the description box. And then finally, let's everyone remember, part of being the lawful and responsible gun owner, like we talk about all the time here, is to know what the law is in every situation, how it applies to you in any instance that you may find yourself. Until next time, thanks for watching. Stay safe.